Hi all, welcome back to my channel and our kayaking adventures. I'm not going to have a normal video out this Thursday because, well, if you've been watching my posts in social media or if you saw my last video, you'll know that I was quite busy Sunday because, well, I had a kayak stolen. But I've got some good news, and if you've been watching my social media, you'll see you've already know that good news. And that is that my kayak has been retrieved. Yep, as you can see, my kayak has been found by a good Samaritan who bought it off of Facebook Marketplace. He thought he was getting a good deal until he found out that it was a stolen kayak. He graciously reached out to me and we were able to get this kayak back. One of the things that's possible was my video camera footage. The first thing I did was I edited the footage off of one of the cameras and I posted it on our Facebook page. I shared that to a couple local Facebook groups and it just took off from there. It got shared out quite a bit. Grand total of 20,000 people had seen my video on Facebook when I got contacted and I had my kayak returned. Well, and that's quite a few people. Mostly, I'd say most of those were probably from this area. There's probably some other people in kayaking groups that just shared it for awareness purposes only, because I did share it as far and as wide as I could. And I believe that was instrumental in me getting this kayak back. So now's a good time to mention that home security is probably something that you should have in mind. I've got these Wyze cameras. They were fairly inexpensive, and so far they've been pretty good to me because not only have they helped me get these kayaks back, but when the cable company destroyed my yard, I had video footage to prove to them and was able to get the cable company to rectify their damages. And I also had someone at one point run over my mailbox, and my camera footage caught that, and I was able to get the person to replace my mailbox. So having home video cameras is probably a good idea. But let's talk about securing your kayak, or one things that you can do to make sure that you can get your kayak back if it is stolen. One thing you want to do, find your serial number. Each kayak should have its own serial number, and as you can see, mine is right there. So as you buy a kayak, you need to write down that serial number. Take a picture of it. I mean, that way you've at least got a timestamp of when the picture was taken. And another thing that made my kayak unique was actually modifying it. By having documentation of adding that and a few other things, I was able to prove that, yes, this kayak was unique enough that when it was returned in, that it was mine. Now, there was some damage done to the kayak. If you recall, when I first bought this kayak, I had put a PVC coupling here, which I use for mounting my camera. Well, the person who stole it decided it was probably easier to sell without that, and so that was taken out, and unfortunately they did a bad job of taking it out, so I'm going to have to fix that somehow. I believe I'm just going to go ahead and get another Yak Attack mount. I've already ordered it, and I'm going to put that Yak Attack mount right there, so that way I can adjust my cameras a little bit better. Now, the thieves, they did take my stickers off of it. You can kind of see the impression of where one of my Kayak 7C stickers was. I used to also have one behind the seat. Both those are gone. Oh, I also used to have one up towards the front. You can almost see where the sticker was, so they did scrape it off. I can actually see where their fingernails were kind of scraping it off. There was indications that, yes, this was definitely my kayak, just from the outline of where the stickers were and my modifications, as well as adding a lot of these. If you remember that in my other video, that these do not come standard in all the places that they should. Without a doubt, this was my kayak. If you're not going to modify your kayak, you need to write down that serial number, because that way at least they'll keep a record of that on the police report, and I believe that's supposed to get turned in somewhere, so that way if it comes up found somewhere, someone can identify it and hopefully return it to you. So let's talk other security measures that I'm going to have to take in the future. I've got these bicycle locks. They're master locks. I'm going to look for something a little bit thicker, because I believe these could be cut through not easily. I mean, you would have to have a pair of bolt cutters to do that, and any good lock is going to have, as you can see, I've already got locked up right now with the third one. Any good lock is going to have a way to get past it. That's just a simple fact of how thieves will operate. So what I believe I'm going to do, and is what I've done in the past, is when I mount my kayak up there, I'm also going to wrap this around my bar. Now, I've got nice beefy bars on the Xterra, so if I take it and I loop the cable through the handle, and then through the roof rack bars, I believe that's going to at least deter a couple thieves. It's not going to stop them. If they want my kayak, they're going to figure out a way to get to it. I don't want to really actually start having to load these things in the morning when we get up right before we go on a trip. I shouldn't have to do that. So I believe if I go ahead and start locking them with my bicycle locks, and maybe taking and locking them together with another set of bicycle locks from the handles to each other, that's going to make it a little bit more difficult. I'm still looking at some other ideas. I did see that they have some straps, the same straps that I use to tie down my kayaks to make sure that they stay on the J-hooks. I saw that they do have some of those that have metal in them. That would probably stop somebody with a sharp knife from being able to cut through the straps as easily. But again, a pair of bolt cutters would cut through those. So I'm just going to be putting a lot more money into keeping everything secure. But that's just going to make it a little bit harder for a thief. But if a thief wants to get a kayak, they're going to get a kayak. But the good news is I was able to get mine back. Not everybody else is so lucky. So I've really got to shout out to everybody who saw my post and they shared my post and got the word out. I believe that just by the whole community learning about it is exactly why I got it back. Someone bought it, realized it was stolen. They realized that they didn't want to have something like that happen to them, and so they did the right thing and they called me and we had everything squared away. I feel sorry. I do feel bad for him. I mean, he was planning a weekend trip. But he's looking for another kayak, and I'm confident he's going to find another one. He seemed like a really good guy, very polite. So I do have to give him props. I'm not going to give out his name because I didn't ask him if I could give out his name, so I'm not going to do that to him. But I do want to, he knows who he is if he happens to watch this video. Again, thank you. So, securing your kayak, there's really not much you can do. A lock, keep a note of your serial number. Now, it's not going to be in the same place for everybody. Each manufacturer is going to put their serial number somewhere else. But it is going to be something that is unique to your kayak. And if you document any changes you make to your kayak. Now, obviously, stickers are not going to be things that make your kayak unique because those are going to be peeled off by the thief who takes your kayak. So once I get some repairs done to my kayak, I should be back in the water and I'll be making videos in no time. I do have a video I've got to start editing from Saturday. Well, before all this happened, the video that I was going to be editing this week. So stick with me. I'll have another video here soon. Just be patient. We don't have a video this week. Until the next time, I hope to catch you out on the water someday.